Recently, I've been playing a lot of golf with my granddad, so today we're going to make a golf ball in Blender and Substance Painter. Open up Blender, and delete that pesky default cube and everything else in the scene. Add in an icosphere with 4 subdivisions. Then go ahead and press Ctrl 1 and apply a sub-D modifier of 1. Select that middle vertex and press Shift-G, and then select Amount of Connecting Edges, and then dissolve the vertices. We missed one, so go ahead and right-click that again, Shift-G, dissolve those vertices. Select everything and do a limited dissolve. Go into face select mode, double tap I, and then scale those faces down. Now apply a sub-D modifier of 1 or 2. Make sure you shade smooth. And there we go, we have a golf ball. It's done. You can go ahead and affect the depth to give it a more extreme or subtle look. I prefer subtle. Go ahead and add in a UV sphere. Let's go ahead and scale it up though so it doesn't clip with the high poly. And shade it smooth. Modeling process is done. Now we need to work on UV unwrapping both of these objects. Come into UV editing mode on the low poly sphere and do a spherical projection. Come into shading mode and let's go ahead and create a material. Add a checker texture on the material. And then before the checker texture, you're going to need to add in a mapping and texture coordinate node and connect those up from UV to vector, from vector to vector. Let's go ahead and drag in any rogue vertices or faces and make sure they're within the UV bounds. Let's go ahead and increase the scale back on our mapping node so we can see how these UV coordinates are interfacing with our object. There we go, looking good. Let's go ahead and do the UV unwrapping for our high poly. Let's just do a smart UV projection. Go up to select and then view overlap. We're getting a little bit of overlap, so we're going to try to minimize this the best we can. Select everything, then go to UV and pack islands. And that has significantly reduced our overlap, so I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and export our high polys and low polys out. Make sure you use selected objects, name it high poly, and then make sure apply modifiers is checked, export. Do the same thing with our low poly. Now we go into Substance Painter to texture the golf ball. Let's start a new project and select a file. Let's choose our low poly. Make sure our document resolution is something nice like 4096. You can go as high or as low as you want. And let's come over here to Bake Mesh Maps. Make sure the output parameters match whatever we started our file as. In my case, 4096. And then let's go ahead and select our high poly mesh. And leave everything as it is and press Bake. Voila, and just like that, we're getting all of our high poly details baked into our low poly mesh. Let's go ahead and add a new fill layer and call this Albedo. Play around with the base color and roughness until you have something you're happy with, and then duplicate our Albedo layer and call it Scratches. For now, let's give it a base color of a different value, and then add in a black mask. Right-click on the black mask and add in a generator, and then search for edge. Use the metal edgeware generator. Right now this isn't looking so good, but we're going to fix that by decreasing our curvature weight. And then you need to play with all these values until you find something you're happy with, mainly wear level, wear contrast, grunge amount, grunge scale. Now for our scratches, go ahead and untick color and metal. We really only want to bring in a height value, so let's decrease that into the negatives. And then deactivate roughness as well. I don't know if you've ever seen a golf ball, but they're not pretty things. They've been through the ringer. They're getting hit with metal clubs all the time, so they do have quite a lot of scratches on them. So you can go crazy here, and it will look realistic. That's looking good. So let's duplicate our albedo again, and then call this one dirt. And for the dirt base color, let's find something that looks like dirt, dark brown. Let's deactivate the metallic channel, and then add in a black mask and a generator, and this time search for dirt. Again, play around with these values until you find something you're happy with. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the dirt layer to give it a little more oomph. Now let's add the Callaway logo on the golf ball. It's my personal favorite ball to hit. I don't know why. I just seem to suck a little bit less when I'm hitting Callaway. Let's go ahead and add in a stencil. I've provided some Callaway alpha masks down in the description below what you can use. And we're going to use a black mask on our paint layer to paint in the logo. Now we can increase the height to be in the positive range and change the base color to whatever you want. I'm going to go with a dark gray or black. And then play with the roughness value so it doesn't match the rest of the ball. Now I'm going to go ahead and rename the paint layer to Callaway logo and then create a duplicate called Chrome Soft. Make sure to pick a different color and then clear the black mask. Now I'm going to add in the Chrome Soft stencil I made, rotate it vertically here, and then paint it right on the ball. Playing around with values until you find something you like. Alright, so now we're done with Substance Painter, so let's go ahead and export our textures with no padding. Jump back over into Blender, and in our golf ball material, just delete the checker texture. And then with the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, press Ctrl-Shift-T on the Principled BDSF node and bring in all the textures that Substance Painter exported. And there it is, a good looking golf ball in Blender with only 482 vertices. Now that's what I like to call game ready. Let's go ahead and take this a step further and render up a scene. Pop in an HDRI with the plugin Easy HDRI. All you have to do is download some HDRIs online and throw them in. Really easy way to get some environmental lighting. Add in a plane below the golf ball and a couple of lights and position it around the golf ball. If you want to do this in Eevee, you can download the SSGI plugin for Eevee down in the description below, which is a great way to fake real-time screen space global illumination. It looks really good. It's not as good as Cycles, but for real-time rendering, it's awesome. Play around with the settings until you find something you like, and presto, you've done it in under 10 minutes and you can make your 8 a.m. tea time. If you liked this video and want to learn more about creating game assets in Blender and Substance Painter, make sure to check out my course on Udemy. I take you step by step, every step of the way, nothing sped up, through the entire process of creating a game-ready katana. If that interests you, please use my coupon code in the description below, as if you do, I get 90% of the cut, whereas if you just bought it off of Udemy.com or through a different ad, I would get somewhere from 10 to 50%. So whenever you're purchasing a creator's course on Udemy, please make sure to see if they have any coupon codes available. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice one.